We are no one. We are everyone. And we are invisible.
We knew it would be an exciting adventure to embark on, and we knew that Damon was smart. The level of integrity of how the material was being approached was deeply thought through. What we do initially is try to figure out what is the sound. You know, it's less about sitting at the piano, what's a great theme, what's the big hook. It's more about trying to explore what the role of music's going to be and how we can articulate that, express that. We spend a lot of time trying to read and absorb the material and try to discern where the creator's coming from, in this case Damon. What story is he trying to tell? We ask a lot of questions. Sometimes we get explicit answers, sometimes we get riddles, sometimes we don't get any answers. And after thinking about it, started to compose music. And it wasn't for a particular scene, and it wasn't for a particular character or moment, but just felt like it might be the impression we get of this world. The intent is to turn it over and say, does anything feel like is anything resonating with you? And even if the answer comes back no, that's informative as to what not to do. You know, and we're beginning the process of discovering what language each camp is speaking.
Turn it off, or I'll shoot!
In this specific one, when Watchmen opens, Will's mother is playing the piano in a silent movie theater. It's that same sound with a kind of reinterpretation, 1918 version of the theme that then mutates into Watchmen 2019. And, you know, we start on Will's father. The scene ends on Will and Judd hanging from a tree.
The stuff set in present day was more synthetic based, and there was lots of atonal drones going on in the background that became almost walleye sound effect that worked as underscore and also just tension building things. And when we went back in time, we were mindful to eliminate that, so it was another way to kind of reinforce we're in a different place.
What are you two talking about?
Oh, nothing. Just the end of the world.
Jump over to the world of Nine Inch Nails for a minute. You know, in the past, I would take years to make a record because the truth of the matter was I was fearful and I was unsure. Technology has afforded us in the studio the ability to endlessly tinker and redo and fix and rethink. And, you know, in the world of tape, you had to commit to a structure. Now that's out the window and you have endless options. We've learned in Nine Inch Nails to kind of embrace commitment of decision making. And this is how I feel in this moment. And I can change it, but I'm going to try not to change it because we think this is what's right, you know, and move forward. And that's not to be confused with laziness or inattentiveness. This TV show reinforced that because you didn't have the option. This is being mixed in a week. We get picture, and at the end of the following week, it's being mixed. So what are you going to do?
There's no piece that was compromised by time. There's no moment of the music in Watchmen that I look back on and think, God, I wish we could have done that differently or better.
Okay, then. Another time.
Throughout the series, we had been hearing about, you know, episode 6 was going to be a precious thing. They were very excited about how it was going to be filmed, and it's going to be trippy, and it's going to blow your mind. And we'd been getting kind of preliminary amounts of music per episode. And 6 always had you don't have to worry too much about that because it's all set in period. I think it's all going to be source. Okay. You know, and we were understanding, just getting a feel for the pace of television and just getting our heads above water. And then everything changed.
You know what? Another time ain't gonna work for us.
The lynching segment, I think the original plan was to drop in a Doris Day piece from 1940 that worked against picture. was a kind of soothing love song with this horrific imagery of racial violence. And they had trouble, they couldn't license the track. And everything's cut, and we're going to mix in just over a week. And at that point, we'd really established ourselves with Damon as friends and also as collaborators. He said, do you think there's any way you could write a song with vocals that feels authentically of 1940? No one could tell. Maybe we won't even tell anybody. Also, it'd be great if lyrically it could work as a contained pop song of the era, but also set against this imagery, have a double meaning that would make it even more of a goosebumps, unsettling thing. And when do you need it by? Well, a week. And after a particularly inspired weekend, that news came in, I think, on a Thursday night. Friday, I said, by Monday, I'll tell you if there's even a chance, because it had to be done by that week and the next weekend. I felt I had some lyrics that worked. I had an acquaintance who is a well-known singer sing it into her answering machine, so it wouldn't be a terrible demo of me trying to sing it, because it also happened to be in the worst possible key for my voice. Having the right players available and the right room available and walking in and hearing it sound like the best thing I've ever heard, it's very unlike how stuff usually goes for us.
Don't interrupt. We're getting to the good stuff.
We'll do things where it feels like every millimeter of the way there's an obstacle that appears. Could this be any more difficult? Every step has something, and this was one where it wasn't easy, but there was a lot of things that just happened to line up, and we got out of our own way and allowed things to happen. However we fooled ourselves into approaching it, it all came together, and the result is something that we're proud of, but it's also, we're proud of the greater achievement of we were able to pull that off for this thing, and we didn't fuck it up.
Sometimes you can make music and it takes time for things to fall into place. And once we had the picture, it felt like the foot was all the way down on the gas. I can't remember how long it took, maybe 6 months or something, but that 6 months were an exciting and very creative 6 months.